34 weeks and I am still being sick every morning. They both decided to be wee troublemakers in the last few weeks of pregnancy. Doing yoga positions one day and then all of a sudden it goes into like kung fu. It can be quite sore sometimes. I'm like, cut it out, stop fighting. Find out you're having a breech baby, do not look it up on YouTube or Google because you do not want to see what's going to happen. Probably end up delivering them in the McDonald's car park or something like that on the way to the hospital. Heartburn, oh my god, it's on a new level. I have to wear my husband's sandals. They're the only shoes that fit. I've turned into the Hobbit this pregnancy. It is nearly over, thank god. I've got to the point now where I would just like it to be over. That's just where we are, that's just being real basically with you. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am here with another twin pregnancy update. I am currently 34 weeks pregnant with fraternal twin girls, and these girls were conceived on Clomid. I have done previous videos on my channel talking about our struggle with secondary infertility. We struggled for 2 years with it and I ended up going on Clomid and conceived our twin girls, which was extremely exciting. I have a video about my Clomid journey, and then I have a video as well about how I found out I was pregnant, the symptoms that I had, and kind of like a brief kind of update on early pregnancy. So I am back now and I have a lot to fill you in on, and I hope you enjoy this update. So as I said in my last update, if you've seen it, I was told I had hyperemesis, which is like extreme morning sickness. I was told I had that at 7 weeks pregnant. Basically from about 5-6 weeks pregnant, I was just being sick continuously, about 20 times a day easily. It was just like everything that I drank, everything that I ate, it just came straight up, and I ended up losing about 10 pounds in about a couple weeks. So I ended up going to the doctors and they gave me some anti-nausea medicine, which did help a lot. So instead of being sick like 20 times a day, I'd maybe just be sick like a couple times a day, or there was even like a good few weeks where I wasn't sick at all. And I was on that medication until about week 18, and then I came off that, and now I'm only sick once a day in the morning. So 34 weeks and I'm still being sick every morning, but the end is in sight. But that's kind of like the main kind of reason why I haven't done many updates. It's just because when I have had a minute to film with, like, if my son's at nursery or something, to be honest, I'd rather just like lie on the couch and just like sleep or just rest, because I haven't really been feeling that great this whole pregnancy. Just not been the best on me. So I would just rather not, you know, make updates moaning about that, because, you know, I want to look on the positive side of things. But yeah, at least I've only just been sick once, so I can't complain really. So on to more positive news. With this pregnancy, I have had a lot of scans done. From week 12, I got a scan every 4 weeks. And then now that we're past the 30-week mark, you get a scan every 2 weeks. So it's really good. With my son, I just got a scan at week 12, and then again at 20 weeks. And then I got one at the very end, like week 39 or something. So well, this has been really good because you've been able to like see them more, and it's always like a bit of peace of mind, you know, when you've gone such a long period of time without having anyone, you know, check on them. It's good when they do the scan and you see the heartbeats and you see them being healthy and you can see that they're growing. Just kind of like puts your mind at rest. So I have enjoyed that part of it a lot, and I've loved seeing like their different personality traits, or what I think their personality traits are going to be. Our twin 2, she is very like active, and from literally about week 12 on her scan, she's just been mad. She's just been like, they can hardly measure her, she keeps moving all the time, she's like a wee poser. She always wants to like put her hand or feet in front of her sister's face, and she wants to be the centre of attention, I think. And she's going to be a difficult one, I think, the little monkey. She's the one that gets me to having to do, you know, jumping jacks and lunges in the doctor's office because they can't scan her because she's in just weird positions. So I think she'll be the wee troublemaker. And she has been breech since week 20. So she has caused me to have a lot of heartburn and rib pain. She's like right underneath my ribs. She's been that way since week 20 and she's not moving. And that's just the way she wants to stay. But that's fine with me. And then our twin one, she's been a lot calmer up until recent weeks. She was really calm. She would literally just lie there for the scan. They would measure her within like a couple minutes. She would never really cause much issues, and she was always in a good position. She was always head down and pretty chilled out. And then in the last couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks, she's decided that she's going to go breech like her sister as well. So both babies are in breech positions. They're side by side and they're like in little Buddha positions. So their legs are crossed, they're sitting like Buddhas, and apparently that's what the doctor told me is that that's kind of like the hardest position for them to be in breech, because their legs are all kind of, because they're crossed, they don't know if they're going to stay like that, or if, you know, you were to deliver them naturally, there would be problems getting their legs out or bum out or something. So they've both decided to be wee troublemakers in the last few weeks of pregnancy, but that probably just gives me a warning of what's to come. Because they've been breech as well, I've had a lot of pressure on like my hips. Like I felt like, before I knew they were breech, I felt as if I was lying down, right, if somebody was to stand on your hip bones and then like wriggle them, like the weight of that and the fact they feel like they're going to like split open like that way, that's what it felt like on my hips. Yeah, you would, they must coordinate movements because I would feel it at the exact same time. So it was almost like they were sitting in like the little Buddha positions, and then they decided they wanted to stretch out. So the both of them would press their feet on my hips even, and then like push up at the same time, because I never felt it just on one side. It was always just on two, and that's been going on for the last couple of weeks. So I swear it's like they've coordinated that they want to do their stretching at the same time. I also have a lot of movements, like it seems like they're doing yoga positions one day where you can see my stomach's moving but like very slowly and calmly, and then all of a sudden it goes into like kung fu and they're like fighting each other and my stomach's like flying all over the place and I'm getting kicked like in the rib cage and in the lady parts down there, and it's just, it can be quite sore sometimes. I'm like, cut it out, stop fighting. And my tummy as well can be in like random shapes, like throughout the day. I can start off in the morning and it looks like so pointy out, as if like, say the baby was lying like that way, it's lying like out the way. That's what it looks like. And then within a matter of a couple hours they'll have moved, and then my tummy's like square and like more flat, or it could be really low one day, it can be slightly higher one day. So it's amazing to see, because when I was pregnant with my son, didn't really change that much. Like the movements weren't that sore, you could see them but not as much as you can see them with twins. The shape of my belly never really changed. It didn't feel as jam-packed and as sore, which obviously it's not because there was just one in there, but it's just like a different experience. If you've had like a singleton and then twins, you can really tell the difference. So that's been amazing to kind of experience both of them. Moving on to delivery, because they are both breech, we are going for an elective C-section. To be quite honest, I wanted an elective C-section when I found out that I was having twins at 6 weeks. I was pretty like certain. I was like, definitely want a section. With my son, I had a really horrendous birth. I've actually made a video on my channel. If you, one of my earlier videos was about our birth story with him, but basically as a recap, it was a 3-day labour and it ended up with me having to get forceps to get him out. It was very sore, very traumatic. There was points where I thought that we weren't going to have our baby in the end. It just wasn't a good experience at all. And when I found out I was pregnant again, before I knew it was twins, I'd kind of thought, should I go for a section? Should I have a natural birth? You know, could there be the chance of having forceps again? And my husband was like, you're 100% having a section. He could never experience what he experienced with my son's birth again. Basically, he was like, he is still traumatized to this day. So I kind of already had that like in my mind. And then when I found out it was twins, and the fact that, you know, a lot of twins are born via emergency section if they've started off the labour like in natural labour, I just thought it's not worth the risk. And now that they're both breech, 100%, I don't want to do a breech vaginal birth. With the breech vaginal births, there's a high chance that they'll use, or basically like they're going to use, some sort of tool to get them out, which is most likely forceps, and most likely you'll be cut again. And I just know that that was horrific, and that the cut took about a good 16 weeks to fully heal, and I still had pain for about a year after. So it's not as if you just healed, you know, dead quick and you went about your day. It was really, really horrible. And I've watched breech births on YouTube, which is big mistake. Do not Google a breech birth. If you are finding out you're having a breech baby, do not look it up on YouTube or Google, because you do not want to see what's going to happen. So just get a section. Or just, if you want to have it naturally, then just don't look it up, because it looks horrific. And yes, so that's the plan. We are going to book in an elective C-section in a week and a half's time, and then I'll get a date, and it'll be between 37 and 38 weeks, and then I'll obviously go in and I'll have them. It took quite a long time to get that agreed by the doctor. My first doctor that I had was amazing. She was like, yeah, you can have a section if you want, totally understand. At that point, just one of them was breech, so she thought that, you know, I'd probably end up having to get in the section anyhow. So she was supporting my decision. Then she left, and I got another doctor who was very into vaginal births, and he kept pushing that, even though both of them were breech at this point. And I ended up having to switch doctor because I just wasn't getting anywhere with him. So now I've got a new doctor who is very supportive, and he actually recommended me to have the section before I even got to see it. So that's good when you're on like the same like page as your doctor. So I am happy with that. My only concern is that being 34 weeks pregnant, you can go into labour at any time with twins. The average time that people go into labour is about 36 weeks. So I'm very worried, because our hospital is 2 hours away. So I'm worried that I was to go into labour naturally before the section date, and then have to get my son picked up or looked after, whatever he is, and then you know, get my dog sorted, and then drive to the hospital. And I have known people, I do know someone personally who has given birth in the car on the way to that very hospital. So I do not want to give birth in the car or in the car park to two breech babies. No. So if I do go into labour naturally, I'm literally grabbing everything and I'm running out that door, and we are racing down to the hospital, and we're going to try and beat them, because even though my son's birth was the 3 days, my labour even was 3 days long with him, I don't want to like be, you know, in that kind of like false idea that, oh, it'll be fine, you know, it'll probably take days and days for them to come out anyway, because, you know, every birth is different. So that's my main worry. But hopefully I can hang on to the section date, and then I just need to chill out and just like drop my son off the night before, and then go in and we can relax, and then we can have the babies, That's the ultimate goal there. But you know, whenever you make plans, they don't turn out. I never planned to have a 3-day labour that ended up in forceps with my son. So I'm planning on having an elective C-section with these girls. I'll probably end up delivering them in the McDonald's car park or something like that on the way to the hospital. Leading on to like signs of labour, I haven't really had like, labour signs. All I've had is like tightening in my stomach if I do something. So say I go a walk. I went a walk last couple days ago, and I was walking for about 20 minutes and my stomach was so tight. Felt almost like a contraction. The only thing that made me realise that it wasn't a contraction was because I remember the contractions start in your stomach and then they kind of like wrap around your back almost, and they also like ease off, you know, they last for so long and then they stop, whereas this was just in my stomach in the front and it was just continuous for a good half an hour, 45 minutes after I'd done this. So it's obviously just my body saying don't walk that far, which is ridiculous because, you know, 20 minutes is nothing, but when you're carrying around 2 babies, obviously it is too much. So I get that. I also get like period cramping when I've done too much. So if I do housework for too long, or I'm playing with my son for too long, or you know, running about or doing something too long, I end up getting like period cramps, and then I just have to sit down, drink some water, and then they normally go away within, you know, half an hour. So again, that's not really a sign of labour, but that's just something that I'm having daily now. I also have a lot of pressure down there. I think it's just the sheer weight of them. At the 30 weeks scan, twin 1 weighed at £3 4 ounces, and then twin 2 weighed at £3 12 ounces. So I haven't got like a weight for them now, but obviously that was 4 weeks ago, so I would expect them to put on a good amount of weight. So it's probably just the fact that, you know, I'm carrying around maybe like £12, not even £10 a baby maybe, and then plus the placenta and, you know, the fluid and all that. It's probably just a lot of weight which is causing the pressure more than like impeding labour. And then my last thing that I'm dealing with at the moment, well actually 2 things. Heartburn. Oh my god, it's on a new level. I don't know if it's because they're both breech or what, but I have continuous heartburn. I am on like the strongest heartburn medicine that you can get from the doctors, and that does nothing. I'm drinking like pints of milk a day because that's supposed to help, but it helps for like 5 minutes. And then you know, I've tried everything, not eating certain foods and doing certain things, but it's just, I just have it. So I'm looking forward to that when they're out, not having that anymore. And my other thing that I have is swelling in my hands and in my feet. I'll insert some pictures to show you what my big elephant feet look like. They look horrific. And the most embarrassing thing about this is I have to wear my husband's sandals. They're the only shoes that fit, because none of my shoes fit me, and thank god it's nearly summertime in Scotland, because if this was winter and I was walking around in sandals, people would be looking at me strange. And to be honest, even though it is summer in Scotland, it's not that warm, but at least it's moderately acceptable to be wearing sandals. And I've turned into the Hobbit this pregnancy. With preparing for the baby, we are all prepared, or babies, why does he baby? We have been prepared from about week 30, that's kind of what the doctor recommended. So we've got our hospital bags packed, we have got the nursery sorted, we have got pretty much everything we need for them. We've got the prams and the rockers and bottles and things like that. So the only thing we need now is babies. And I'm sure that the night before my section I'll think of something that I haven't prepared for, but you know, that's just life. But I feel as if we're pretty prepared much more prepared than I was with my first. So feeling good about that. I have also filmed a nursery tour which will go up in the next day or so, so you can look out for that one. So yeah, that's the kind of update on my pregnancy so far. It is nearly over, thank God. I do feel bad because I love being pregnant with my son, loved it, and obviously it took us 2 years to conceive these girls, and there was nothing more in the world that I wanted than to be pregnant again. And I am like so blessed and so thankful, you know, every day that I wake up and I'm pregnant, and I'm so happy. And it still feels like a dream. Like I don't feel like it will really settle in until I have them in my arms, and then I can kind of, and they're healthy, and I can kind of go like, oh, we made it, like we got there in the end. But it has been a tough pregnancy. I do feel like I've got to the point now where I would just like it to be over. And you know, every day I'm trying to just soak it in as much as possible, and just trying to like appreciate like the baby's moving and have my bump, because this will be the last time that I experience that. But then when I'm vomiting every morning, and you know, have heartburn and can barely move because my stomach's tight and my feet are all swollen and pretty much every body part hurts, I do kind of go like, right, I am ready for these girls to make an appearance in the next few weeks. So yeah, that's just where we are. That's just being real basically with you. But we're all excited. My son is really excited. He keeps kissing the bump and he'll say, you know, my sisters are in there, and I just know he's going to be so good with them. And I just think they are going to be the luckiest wee girls ever to have him as a big brother. He's just going to be such a sweet, good big brother. I just know it. And yeah, it's going to be so cute. I think I'm going to be so emotional when he comes and meets them for the first time. I can just see his wee face, and oh, it's just going to be, well, I feel emotional even thinking about it, so I can imagine it being such a special moment. So that's kind of like the main thing I'm looking forward to, apart from obviously meeting them as well. And yeah, we're all excited and all ready for these girls to arrive. This will probably be my last pregnancy update, because like I said, they're going to be born in the next 3, potentially 4 weeks if I can't get a section date sooner than that. So unless you guys want one, maybe like at the end, if you want to comment down below if you want to know anything more, or if there's anything I've missed or anything like that, then I can obviously make another video. But I am planning on trying to film some of the birth, so I will have that up when they are born, as well as obviously the nursery tour, which will be coming in the next day or so. And yeah, I hope that everyone who is on their journey to conceiving, I wish you all the best of luck. And so many of you have messaged me saying how you've started Clomid, or you're going through the journey, and that the videos have really helped you. And I just want to say that I really appreciate that. And I have been there, and I know how hard it is, and I know how it does feel like you can't, like you're never going to get there and you should give up. But don't, please don't, because I nearly did, and then I wouldn't have had, if I did, I wouldn't have these girls. So please just, you know, keep going. Everything will work out in the end. And I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.